What's going on, guys? Kai here. I had a pretty interesting idea for today's video. Let me know what you think down below and if you want to see more of this. But what's going to happen is I got all the anecdotes for the new Season 5 Fairy. What I'm going to do is I'm going to close my face and I'm going to read you the story of Chestnut Rose. Let's get into it. The desolate wasteland is overgrown with weeds. No one comes here anymore, except for the lonely howling wind. People have long forgotten that this place once held endless green pastures, and golden wheat waves once sugared here. A wide two-cart road leads straight to the Baron's castle, a towering, magnificent castle, surrounded by roses. Was once a symbol of wealth and beauty. The kind Baron, his gentle wife, a daughter, both happily like any other ordinary family. And now no one comes here anymore, except for those who have sworn in their hearts. They push through the thorn-covered, overgrown path, step through the crumbled ruins, and intrude uninvited into the forgotten old castle. Along the cracks they spread like spider webs. They tread on the steps buried in ashes, passing through the iron doors disordered by heat to meet the cold, vengeful embodiment of the charred throne, the Rose Witch. It was a story from a long, long time ago, before the wild grasses had claimed the fields. The wind still blew across the golden wheat waves. A broad road, wide enough for 2 carriages to pass, led straight to the knight's castle. In the manor, people gathered to witness the young knight's knighthood ceremony. A sword lightly touched both shoulders, and upon rising again, she had officially become a knight. My knight, my defender, and my daughter. She solemnly received the sword from the Baron's hands, her beautiful face beneath the silver helmet lifting with a smile. She was not his daughter, but from that moment she became one. She swore eternal loyalty to bring honor to the family, to show mercy to the weak, and to stand fearless against the strong enemies. From then on, the world had a Knight of the Rose. She was the companion of children, the mentor to young men, and the helper of the weak. She was the enemy of bandits, the judge of criminals, and the nightmare of foes. She was also a daughter, a sister, and a close friend. People admired her beauty, praised her virtues, and feared her blade. In front of the castle, a statue of the Knight of the Rose stood tall, captured in the pose of a sword-wielding protector. Come, the feast is about to begin. Tonight there will be screams of as an accomplishment, wine brewed from blood, pain as the seasoning, and fear as the dish. Come, sing for revenge, drink to the downfall of our enemies. Tonight, both host and guest will rejoice, and everyone will remember the day the rose was burned to ashes. This is the story of Baron Solomon's flower fairy, Scarlet Avenger Chestnut Rose. Whenever someone asks about the past of the Rose Valkyrie, I always answer this way. No one really cares about the truth. The passerby who only wish to hear a story won't mind, and neither will she. The swelling ambitions and the loyalty of the rose, the blood-soaked blade of revenge, have all long been buried in the howling winds of Gaia Snow Mountains. What will forever remain in my heart is only a glimpse of the true red figure from my memories, my sister, my hero, by Sherry Solomon. Name, Scarlet Wish, Chestnut Rose. Attribute, Fire. Apparent age, 20. Alias, Rose Witch. Imperfection. Hobby, pain and screaming. She is a flower fairy who exists for the Avengers. Don't take her indifference to heart. You should know that indifference is her most gentle expression. The last glimmer of light fades completely, and all things are cloaked in the veil of night. The rules lose their power here, and boundaries become increasingly blurred. The evils in the alley are hidden by the darkness, and the sins of the banquet hall are veiled by the lamp. This is the domain ruled by moonlight, obscure and secretive. In the night, a path cloaked in roses quietly grows, climbing towards the enemy's mansion. Crimson buds emerge boldly from the thorns that cover the vines, crawling up every inch of the wall, densely packed like scarlet flames, igniting every window. Admire the fear of the enemy. Listen to the belated repentance. The crimes not judged by the blazing sun shall be punished by the blades of the dark night. Warm blood flows through her fingertips, a familiar scent tangled with rust and iron. She was witnessed this crimson swirl more than once, blooming in the chest of a human like a beautiful rose. And more than once she has held a beating heart, feeling the last tremors of life before it fades away. Revenge is a cup of strong liquor with a sharp heat that clears the mind and the pain of intoxicants. It ensures that she will never forget the pain of losing her loved ones. The rose invitations fluttered like snow, flying from the high towers of the ancient castle to the noble jesters invited to the feast. This is the witch's grand invitation, where the broken castle has been renewed, its lights blazing brightly. Opulent carriages arrive from all directions, their roofs adorned with blood-red flowers, and thorny vines coil around the seats. The grand hall is filled with rich delicacies, flickering candles, and enemies seated at the table. This is a feast called Revenge. That was a story from long ago. A greedy thought, a jealous gaze, an act of betrayal, and a group of silent accomplices. The vilest lies sent the most loyal knights away, leaving the thief an opening. The poison wine offered by the trusted confidant. Was this a reward for the kind-hearted baron? A helpless mother fleeing with her sister, but ultimately not escaping death. The statue of the Knight of the Rose collapsed on that night when the flames reached the sky and she failed to protect anyone. People fabricated her crimes, slandered her name, and feared her blade. They nailed her to the pillar, set a bonfire beneath her, and threatened to burn the witch alive. They watched the flame ignite her long hair, and for a moment it seemed as if the fire had become her hair, spreading through the rising heat like a devil's form. When the mortal body was consumed by flames, the rose was reborn in fire. From that moment on, her sword would only be drawn for revenge.